In a related development, the federal government has allocated the sum of 10 billion naira in the 2025 approved budget for the installation of a solar mini grid at the presidential villa. The move comes amid increasing electricity tariffs and widespread power outages, which have sparked concerns about the government's trust in its own electricity policy and priorities. This follows an increase in the overall budgetary allocation to the State House headquarters, which rose from 47.11 billion naira in the initially proposed 2025 budget to 57.11 billion naira in the approved version. The additional 10 billion naira was traced to a jump in capital expenditure, which moved from 33.55 billion to 43.55 billion. A breakdown of the new capital items reveals that the increase was solely due to the planned solar project titled Solarisation of the Villa. For this conversation, an energy expert and Chief Executive Officer of Energy Equilibrium, Professor Izielen Agbon, joins me from Dallas, Texas. Good to have you on the news tonight.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you, really. Reporting on this, the ICR, I'm not going to quote, I'll just paraphrase. Millions of Nigeria endure blackouts and rising electricity bills while the presidential villa is switching to solar, and they believe it signals a quiet vote of no confidence in the nation's troubled power grid. That's one thought. On the flip side of that, there are those who say this move aligns with global trends in energy sustainability. From an energy expert point of view, what should we be focusing on here? Who is correct?
Well, I think that the putting Aso Rock on solar power is something that should have been done decades ago. I mean, it's the best energy alternative. However, politically, the decision to put Aso Rock on solar power in the midst of the lack of electricity for 40% of Nigeria have no access to electricity is not a quiet but a loud vote of no confidence on the government's policy with respect to power and energy. It is a large vote of no confidence. While it is technically correct to do that, the political image and the signal it sends to Nigeria is not positive at all. The reason why I say that is because if Aso Rock have got a financial problem with respect to paying its electricity bill because it is on band A, it means the policy for the internal pricing of electricity in Nigeria is incorrect. It means also that just like Aso Rock is having problem, all our specialist hospitals in Nigeria, whether it's the specialist hospital in Ibadan, the specialist hospital in Lagos, all our universities, and all our very critical institutions that are on band A have got the same economic problem like Aso Rock. But Aso Rock is solving its own little problem that will make it live outside of the reality of the rest of us in Nigeria. Put very simply, the government is taking care of itself first. If you're a leader, you cannot take care of yourself first. You must first of all take care of the weak and the helpless.
Okay, what would have been more appropriate for the budgetary amounts to be used for? Because it seems we are more concerned about the politics and the appropriateness of the action of the government than, I mean, one would think that someone in the energy sector would be a more, how do I put it now, more sympathetic to the move and a bit more complimentary, considering, I mean, the encouragement is that we should diversify and rely a lot more on solar energy for our power.
Oh, I'm in support of the move. I just told you it should have been done years ago. So I'm happy that the government is doing it now. But in getting 10 billion for Aso Rock, you also should have gotten the money for some critical institutions in Nigeria. You also should have got, because what is good enough for Aso Rock is good enough for some critical institution in Nigeria. I mean, you cannot be in the presidency and you are hearing of our hospitals being put in blackout by our discos because they cannot pay the 225 naira per kilowatt hour, which is like 15 cents per kilowatt hour, which is very high. Yet you know that it is better for you to go on solar, and solar can give you about 6 cents per kilowatt hour. You know, they can give you about 1/5. Maybe it will give you about 50 naira per kilowatt hour for the next 25 years. You should have, when you are going for supplementary budget, ask for supplementary budget to put solar on the teaching hospital in Lagos, in Zaria, I'm just talking of hospitals, not to mention universities. Because in the last government, there was a rural electrification agency. Under the rural electrification agency, solar farms were put in some universities. Federal University in Makurdi, Bayero University in Kano, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. In fact, solar was put in the Federal Ministry of Power Secretariat. Having done that, you should have put more money in solar. You've been in government for 2 years, and your goal is to have 20% of solar by 2030. You should have put more money in your budget in solar so that you have other secretariats go on solar, Aso Rock go on solar, and the critical hospitals that are in our teaching hospital, the best hospital in Nigeria, go on solar, so that we don't have to have medical tourism and the rich and powerful in Nigeria getting their medical health abroad.
Okay.
So the energy policy was not driven. It should be driven based on the need of the country, not on the needs of Aso Rock.
Okay.
So they are doing the correct thing, but they're only doing it in order to take care of themselves. It's like if we are on a plane. You know when they tell you on a plane, if the plane is going down, put the oxygen on yourself before helping the children. That's on a plane that is going down. But when you are in your house, you take care of everybody, if you're a leader, before taking care of yourself. Okay. So what Aso Rock is doing is correct. They should put Aso Rock on solar. But not only Aso Rock should be on solar.
But key infrastructure.
That's my point.
Okay. I have another question on that, but you were speaking and talking about the tariff hike and how it is impacting others. I wanted to just quickly ask your thought on the sustainability of the current billing schedule that we have in Nigeria.
It is not sustainable. Because, you know, the error, when you make a mistake and you tell all of us that if you privatize NEPA, our problem will solve. There will be constant electricity. You remember when they were privatizing NEPA? So they broke NEPA up. They have 6th generation, 6th GENCO. They have the national transmission in the midstream, and they have 11 discos. Well, the condition with respect to electric power have not improved since the privatization of NEPA. So obviously, government ownership was not the problem of NEPA. Because now they privatize it and the condition is worse. So there need to be new thinking.
All right, quickly, sir. I'm told we're almost out of time for this conversation. I was just given the 30 seconds window. What conversations, in your view, should we be having about Nigeria's power sector at this time? If you can squeeze it into 40 seconds, that would be great.
40 seconds, we should invest in gas pipeline and invest in gas-fired power plants, which the government have decided they will do. But it is a process. First, you build the pipelines that will take the gas from the gas fields to our major state capitals. Then you build power plants that are fired by gas. Then you now know that most of your electricity is not based on hydro, like the days when we were in Kajida. It is based on us using our domestic gas availability, which means you must price the gas right, you must build the infrastructure, and you must pursue it consistently.
All right.
And then you have to invest in your national transmission, because we lose a lot of power in our national transmission. You cannot be generating 12,000 megawatts, but you can only distribute 4,000 megawatts.
Prof, I would love to continue to listen to you, and I'm sure our viewers would too, but we're time pressed. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I hope to speak with you again soon.
Thank you. I hope they build more solar farms, not just for Aso Rock, but they should build it in all state capitals too.
Thank you, sir.